Hi friends, this is Chris Beckman, the corporate chaplain, and you're tuning in to a series of reflections and meditations that we're creating during this time of COVID-19, and I hope you enjoyed watching them. We've also created a series of worship services that are coming out every week, and if you're wondering how to get a hold of those or to participate, they're ones that are created by Ebenezer, for our communities. And I think you might enjoy them if you're able to see them. Reach out to your activity director or the executive director in your building and they can help you find them. Today's reflection is number 9 in our series. And the title of our reflection today is Dream Big. You see, a lot of us have a lot of extra time on our hands during this time of COVID-19. And normally we are not encouraged to be dreamers or to be big dreamers. But dear friends, this is the time to dream and to ponder thoughts and to consider options. It's a time to think about trips that you took or still want to take. It's a time to think about our cabins, the ones that we had or the ones that we have, or for a lot of us, the cabins that we want. In Minnesota especially, when it's a mythology in our world to say, I'm going up north. And when someone says, I'm going up north, it doesn't matter even if we're going south to Iowa. We're going up north. It's the time to think about home improvement projects, or maybe going back to school to redo the kitchen, or to imagine a project in your life or your world or your family. One of the beautiful things that research has taught us recently is that more than half of the pleasure of going on a trip or doing a project, of going back to school, more than half of the pleasure is by simply the planning and the dreaming. I'm going to say that again. More than half of the pleasure of going on a trip is the planning for it. More than half of the joy of having a brand new kitchen is drawing the pictures, is looking at magazines, is getting excited about it. More than half of the joy of having a cabin is thinking about going up north, of remembering and recalling. And that makes a lot of sense to us, especially during this time of COVID-19, when we can't go to the cabin. When, unless we're good with technology, we can't go back to school. And Menards is still open, but a lot of us feel somewhat chagrined in going to Menards to get extra projects going. But it's a time when we can think about, where would I want to go? What would be fun to see? What projects should I start in my life and in the world? And remember that the dreaming about it is almost more than half of the pleasure than actually doing it. I have an old house. I have a 1920s arts and crafts house, a craftsman. Well-made, well-designed, lots of beautiful built-ins. And most of the house is really quite lovely, except for my bedroom. The bedroom is a plain square, and the ceilings are somewhat low, somewhere between 7 and 8 feet. And the walls are all lath and plaster, but it's kind of a plain room, and it's just kind of there. The other day, I decided with the extra time, wondering, well, what's above the ceiling in our bedroom? And so I went up into the closet where the entryway was for the roof, and I went up in there. And as soon as I got through that entryway and looked over the ceiling in our bedroom, I saw that if I were to cut out the ceiling in our bedroom, we would have a vaulted cathedral ceiling that would add about 7 feet to the top of our bedroom. Can you imagine having a vaulted cathedral ceiling in your bedroom? Boy, what a great dream. And I found this incredibly cool picture in an architectural digest that showed that if you left the beams and painted it all white and opened up the ceiling and put a big ceiling fan up, it would be this incredibly beautiful, powerful space. But to make a dream like that into a reality means that I probably have to convince my wife that it's a good idea. She likes the idea, but quickly the reality is honey, how are we not going to live in our bedroom for a year? Because I know that you can do this project, she says to me, but you are slow and somewhat inefficient, and you get things done. But boy, this is going to take you a year. But I have to say, just having that picture tacked up by my bed and imagining as I look above the ceiling, thinking, I could add 7 feet and it would be this gorgeous space. And then also living with the reality of I'm going to have to insulate it. It's going to create a mess. And it is going to take me a year to do it. But I'm having so much joy and so much pleasure in dreaming about it. This is a time, dear friends, to let your dreams go, even if they don't end up coming into reality. How many of us have wanted to walk the streets of Jerusalem, or to visit the Vatican, or to take that walking tour of Ireland? How many of us in our house, as we look around, want a new kitchen or a bathroom? And if you know and have done those projects, you know they take 6-8 months and cost thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. But it costs us nothing to dream. It costs us nothing to put pencil to paper, or to cut out things out of a magazine, or to look online to figure out ways to take your space and to make it this beautiful space. And even if you never go on that trip, even if you never start on the bathroom or your kitchen, even if you don't go back to school again, even if I don't cut that hole and cut out our entire ceiling and make it this cathedral space, even if I never start that or do it, I'm still getting great joy and great pleasure and great fun. And frankly, we have the time now, dear friends. And while we may have this part of us that said, oh, we got to stop dreaming, we got to get practical. Sounds like my grandparents. Dream big, dream boldly, and enjoy the process. Blessings on your journey, and thanks for listening.